I never thought my modeling career would end like this. Once I walked runways, flexed my chest for cameras, signed autographs. Now, I serve wine half naked at hen parties. It started with one gig. I was broke. Rent was overdue. The agency said, "It's just one night, some ladies having fun. Be polite, smile, wear an apron, and only an apron." I laughed, thought it was a joke, but I needed the money. The moment I walked in, I knew. They weren't just there to drink. They were there, for me. They circled me like I was dessert. Their eyes scanned every inch. Their smirk said everything. "Turn around, sweetheart," one of them said. And I did. Because in that moment, I wasn't the one in control anymore. The rest of the night was a blur of giggles, dares, and hands that accidentally brushed against my waist. They asked questions I wasn't ready for. "Do you always shave your chest? You flex for us when we say please, right?" They laughed when I blushed. I didn't realize blushing made it worse. They loved it. After that night, they booked me again. And again. Soon I had a title, John the Butler. But I wasn't just serving drinks. I was their entertainment. They made me practice walking while balancing trays on my shoulders, shirtless. Once I dropped one and the whole room went silent. She walked over, heels clicking on marble, picked up a piece of broken glass, and said, "Clumsy boys need extra training." That night, they tied a bow around my waist and made me announce drinks by flexing each time I spoke. "Bubbly, with biceps," one joked. And I had to flex, slowly, deliberately, while they all clapped like I was a toy. Sometimes I wonder, how did it come to this? A hairy-chested 6-foot man, getting his cheeks pinched like a cute puppy. But there's something about their laughter, their command, that keeps me coming back. There was one party, an all-pink theme. They made me wear bunny ears. Nothing else but the apron and a pink bow tie. Every time I served something, they'd say, "Hop for us, Bunny John." And I did. In front of 20 women in silk saris and power suits. Each of them older than me. Each of them loving every second. And the worst part? I started to love it too. I remember one lady, tall, stern, and always sipping her red wine slowly. She never spoke much, just watched. Then one night she snapped her fingers and crooked her finger. I walked over. She tugged my apron string loose and said, "Let's make this more honest." I stood there trying not to cover myself, trying to pretend I wasn't shaking. They whistled. I felt so exposed. And yet so wanted. It's not about shame anymore. It's about surrender. Sometimes they test how obedient I am. They say, "Stand still. Don't flinch." And then they tap my abs, tickle my ribs, run their fingers down my spine. And I try to stay still. Try not to react. They love watching me squirm. They have this thing, they call it John's balance test. They place a tray on my head, then place their heels on my thighs one by one like I'm a human stool. And I have to hold the pose, smile, while they sip and giggle. They made me practice walking silently in a room full of glasses on the floor. If one tipped, I had to do 5 push-ups. In front of them. In nothing but briefs. Sometimes they pretend I'm invisible. Other times I'm all they see. Either way, I belong to their amusement. One evening, they asked me to perform a slow march around the room, flexing with every step. "Like a soldier," they said. But slower. Sexier. They clapped in rhythm. I marched, cheeks flushed, chest out, every movement rehearsed to please them. They even gave me pet names. Stress ball. Muscle muffin. Chesty bestie. At first it was humiliating. Now it's routine. Sometimes they play with the curls on my chest. "Like velvet," they say. Or pull the waistband of my briefs to see how far I'll let it go before I stop them. I never do. Some nights, After they've had their fill of fun, after the teasing and games, they sit in circles, and I just stand in the middle, barely clothed, holding a tray like a statue. They call it the final look. Each of them takes a moment to walk around me, sometimes adjusting my waistband, sometimes tracing my chest with a feather, or tapping their champagne glass against my abs just to see me flinch. And I do flinch. Every single time. I used to think power was muscles, confidence, a strong voice. Now I know there's a different kind of power. The kind that wears heels. That whispers instead of yells. That commands with a look or a laugh. And me? I'm just part of that power play. A hunk on display. A pet project. A walking trophy for their amusement. But I found my place. They chose me. They kept me. And every time they snap their fingers, I go. Because their approval, their attention, it keeps me alive in a way modeling never did. I'm no longer John the struggling model. I'm John the butler. The party boy. The entertainment. And though I wear little, they've given me something more than clothes. A role. A purpose. A spotlight I never expected. Under the rule of the queens who own the party. And tomorrow, there's another party, another theme, another costume, another evening where I serve and obey, just like they like it.
हाथ आगे करो, टेस्ट करना है नई केन किट।
అయ్యో చిన్న తప్ప అయింది.
डिसिप्लिन कभी छोटी नहीं होती।
Oh no, please, ladies, please.
You're tickling me.